Hello there and welcome to the amazing Western Australian capital, Perth. What an incredible view of the city here from Kings Park. Absolutely stunning. Now, if you're planning your own visit to Perth, we have 10 great things for you to do in this video. We've got a lot of ground to cover, so let's get into it. Welcome to Perth.
In this video, we'll pound the pavement on a street art tour of the city's laneways and arcades. Dive into WA's incredible Indigenous art scene. Cure a case of vertigo on the roof at Optus Stadium. Explore one of the biggest city parks in the world. And who could say no to meeting the furry rock stars of Rotto? All that and more is coming up. But before we hit the road, take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more amazing travel ideas. There's no better way to get to know a new city than on a walking tour. And I'm meeting local guide Heady in the city's newest civic hub, Yagan Square.
We are standing right now in the lovely Yagan Square, right in the heart of the city. Opened up a few years ago to connect Perth and Northbridge together. And as you can see, all these gorgeous native plants around me, the beautiful red rust of the buildings, and normally a bright blue sky. So I love being here because even though you're right in the middle of the city, it feels like you're out in the bush. It's named after Yagan, who was a Noongar warrior at the time of British settlement, and there's so many things that they've done to celebrate the Noongar culture and also to showcase that this area used to be a wetland. This was just all a big series of swamps and lakes and wetlands.
So we're doing the street art tour today. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, I love the street art tour. There's so much amazing street art here in Perth. We're going to see lots of beautiful, colourful murals and some great work by some young Aboriginal artists, which is just stunning, and tell some really cool stories of the history of the place as well. So we're going to see lots of murals, all the underground art as well, so graffiti, stencils, stickers, little paste ups, all those little tiny things that if someone didn't point it out to you, you'd probably miss it and you'd walk right past. And it's just beautiful and colourful, so nice to see.
All right, let's get into it.
Woohoo, let's go.
Heady will almost certainly take you to Wolf Lane, a street art hotspot and home to what I consider to be the best toasted sandwich on the planet. High praise, but you be the judge at Toastface Grillah. Don't go past the Old Faithful of ham, cheddar and sweet pickle. Thanks to our good friends at TFE Hotels, we're staying at the newly minted Vibe Hotel Subiaco Perth, a stylish accommodation option just a 10-minute drive from the CBD. I loved the village vibe of Subi with its cafes, bars and restaurants. Vibe Hotel Subiaco is one of the tallest buildings in the area, and it has a rooftop bar and eatery, storehouse. Order a cocktail and feast on the finest locally sourced produce. And burn off any indulgences in the hotel pool. Later in this video, we'll settle in for a beach break at the Rendezvous Hotel Perth Scarborough. And that's what I call an epic vista.
Alrighty, time to get amongst it in the Perth Cultural Centre, home to Western Australia's preeminent cultural institutions, including the Western Australian Museum, recently reopened as Bullabardip, looks amazing, the State Library of Western Australia, the State Theatre, and I'm visiting the Art Gallery of Western Australia. Now, don't let this brutalist exterior fool you. I'm going to learn more about that in a moment. Inside, you will find a trove of colour and creativity.
Hi, I'm Colin Walker, I'm the Director of the Art Gallery of Western Australia. I'm from Liverpool originally, made my way over to Perth and I'm not going to leave. It's the best place on earth.
Tell us a bit about the Art Gallery building, because it's a bit of a statement. piece in itself.
Yeah, it's a real Vegemite building in many ways. People either love it or they hate it. It's one of Australia's finest pieces of brutalist architecture, built in 1979, and we recently celebrated that anniversary with a whole series of events and exhibitions, and it was tremendous just to see people engaging with a building that, as I said before, some people love, some people hate.
The gallery holds a phenomenal collection of Indigenous art, and whatever your preconceptions of what that might entail, check them in at the cloakroom and prepare to be enthralled. Now, it's no secret around town that I love a hop-on, hop-off bus tour, and Perth Explorer links several key attractions, including mighty Kings Park. It's a cost-effective way to get around, and commentary is provided. We'll return to Kings Park for a closer look shortly, but right now I've got to face a possible case of vertigo on the roof at Optus Stadium. Harnessed up and accompanied by two safety experts, vertigo participants step out onto a narrow platform 40 metres above the turf. And while I had full intentions of challenging my well-documented fear of heights, the weather meant that sadly someone had to stay with our gear. Well, that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. So enter Perth grandmothers Jan and Fiona, who agreed to step in and share their experience on camera. Two braver ladies I've yet to meet, and their display of synchronised aerial manoeuvres was breathtaking. Okay, now they're just showing off. Incomparable Kings Park is one of the largest city parks in the world, and I know just the man to show us around.
Kings Park is the #1 tourist destination in Western Australia. I'd say that perhaps I'm a little biased about that, but when you consider that there are over 5 million visitations to Kings Park every year, there's a lot to do and see. You can come for a walk in the Botanic Gardens with guides like me, but there's also a large historic area. There's a large area of remnant bushland or Banksia woodland. There's also a large scientific and historic area in the park as well. And Kings Park Scientific has a huge reputation Australia-wide and worldwide. You've probably seen kangaroo paws and grevilleas that have been put onto the Australian market, which have been developed here by the scientific teams at Kings Park.
So the guided tour, just explain how that works for somebody who might want to do it.
As volunteer guides, we put on different walks at different times of the year. Every day we do a 10 o'clock and a 1 o'clock walk, usually through the Botanic Garden, but if guests have a particular thing that they'd like to see, we'll endeavour to cover that for them. During the wildflower season, we've also put on bushland walks and wildflower walks. So it varies different times of the year, but there's always a 10 o'clock and a 1 o'clock walk. We are volunteer guides and the walks are free.
Over in East Perth, Whippersnapper Distillery is quite the find. This urban distillery crafts its liquid wares from Western Australian grains and has developed a cult following. Whippersnapper offers various tours and tasting options, and you'll learn some of their intriguing backstory along the way. We decided to sign up for the Whisky Masterclass, which includes a tour of the distillery with a knowledgeable host and the chance to sample 3 core products and 3 small batch whiskies. There are plenty of great day trip destinations within easy reach of Perth, but one of the most popular is gorgeous Rottnest Island, which lies 19 kilometres off the WA coast. For many visitors, it's all about snapping a selfie with these pint-sized celebs who've well and truly gone global. More on that later. We're heading over to the island with Rottnest Express, a fast ferry service that departs from Perth and neighbouring Fremantle.
Now, you might be a little surprised to find me in a puffer jacket here on Rottnest Island. I was actually considering breaking out the scarf as well. It's pretty cool at this time of year. Of course, the island best known as a holidaymaker's playground, swimming, snorkelling during the warmer months, bike riding, strong significance to the traditional owners and a rich history to explore. Not all of it good, I gotta say. Let's go find out more.
Known to the Noongar First People as Wodjuma, Rottnest served as an Aboriginal prison from the late 1830s for close to a century. However, it has a much more long-standing place in Indigenous cultural heritage.
I'm Brendan Moore and I live in Fremantle. I'm a Whadjuk Noongar and I love coming over to Rottnest Island. Wodjuma, as it's called for Noongar, is a very significant place because Wodj is actually the emu. And as it happened, Yondok, which is a crocodile, came down from up north, fought with a wargle. Crocodile roll created Rottnest, or created Wodjuma, but later on transformed into an emu, so that's why it's Wodjuma. The gateway sculpture, which was created by Noongar artists Sharon Egan and Jan Rees, tells the story of men that were incarcerated on the island for the best part of a century. 1839, it was officially gazetted as a penal island, and that carried on until 1904. There was a period after that where actually Aboriginal prisoners were still kept on the island to build roads and more infrastructure, including, you know, the building that we're next to now was built by Aboriginal prisoners.
10% of those incarcerated in the overcrowded prison facility would never return to their communities. Fast forward to the 21st century and Rottnest is a beautiful, calming place that many visitors love to explore by bike. Back in the main settlement, I have some important business to take care of at the Rottnest Bakery. I've heard a lot about their jam donuts and they don't disappoint. Now, you may witness some strange behaviour on Rotto. Grown adults and kids crawling around on all fours. Don't panic, they're simply coaxing the local quackers to pose for a selfie. These are wild animals, so treat them with respect. No feeding or touching. But you'll generally find these totes cute furballs more than happy to grin up. All in all, a day on Rottnest Island is travel time well spent. And finally, with more than 100 kilometres of coastline in the metro area, no visit to Perth would be complete without getting in some sun, surf and sand. The sublime Scarborough Beach is located 20 minutes drive northwest of the city, and we're staying at the iconic Rendezvous Hotel Scarborough. This beachfront tower always wows guests with its epic proportions and mind-blowing coastal views. Situated literally on the hotel's doorstep, the Scarborough Foreshore redevelopment has given rise to a world-class recreational precinct, which incorporates a host of amenities, bars and eateries, a seasonal sunset market, and all the seaside essentials. It's holiday heaven on a stick, or in a cup, as the case may be. For more ideas for amazing things to do in Perth, just head to our website.